everything in our Christian faith is based on relationship. What are the first two commands? Love the Lord with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. That's relationship. And love others as yourself. Again, relationship with self. I can't love other people more than I love me, by the way. And loving other people comes from the first two, loving God and loving others as I love myself, or as I would want to be loved too. That's relationship. And we really need to understand this, because our emotionally healthy Christianity has to do with, it needs to intersect with our faith. We can't just leave our faith sitting there by itself. It will create a divided heart in us. So it's really, really important for us to understand that everything in our Christian faith is relationship based. You know, the definition of intimacy is to be seen and known and heard and accepted and loved anyway. And it's so funny, because I can tell you, every single one of you, that place inside you that longs for this. I don't have to describe, do I? You know it. It's kind of like hunger. I don't have to describe hunger. Well, hunger is when your stomach starts growling and you're feeling a little faint. I don't have to do that, because everything in you knows what I'm talking about the intimacy and about relationship and about the longing to be seen and known and heard and accepted and loved anyway in all our mess. And so when we look at the idea of intimacy and relationship, I want to show you this I kind of created this because I want to show you the momentum of what relationship is supposed to be like. This is every relationship that matters to you in your life. All of them are based on and are way enhanced by how your relationship with God is going, by the way, and yourself. But I want to show you this because we start out here at discovery, and discovery will naturally create desire, will naturally create discipline and delight and devotion. And it's a momentum. It's the momentum of that keeps relationship healthy. It is how we stay married for a zillion years, or how we have really great friends, or whatever relationship we're in, especially our relationship with God. It is the momentum of relationship all begins with discovery. You know, when you think about falling in love, there is a discovery process. I mean, it's not like just, discovery is the beginning of relationship, of really relationship. You know, when God made Adam, he made sure Adam saw every animal in the whole garden and named them all, because then Adam understood his own need. See, he needed somebody face to face. He wanted somebody to discover with and to share with. You know, what is sharing? It is something I have found that I want to share, that I want to give. That's discovery. That is a cry of our heart and of our heart and relationship. And naturally, out of discovery comes desire. And desire is holy and righteous and good with God. God created desire in us. He created the desire to continue our relationship. He created the desire to get married. He created the desire to be with this person. That's holy desire. Of course, the enemy tries to trash that into an unholy desire. And the very best way he can do that is by creating desire without discovery, without relationship. You know, so when we have healthy discovery and we have healthy desire, okay, I want to be with this person all the time. I want to live my life with this person. I want to be married to this person. I want this. What naturally happens next is discipline. I will create a framework and boundaries to protect that relationship. That's all that discipline is. It's really a boundary that protects. Now, when it's not in a place of relationship, it becomes something that's punitive, something that's a burden, something that is forced. But natural discipline is a place we want to be. I made vows 44 and a half years ago because I wanted that framework in my marriage with my husband. Okay. We do that with all kinds of things. I said this, I think last week, is I want to go to lunch with my girlfriends, and that is the part, the discovery, the fun part of my relationship. But that means I have to get up, get dressed, brush my teeth, drive 30 minutes, all these things. Well, what makes that okay and that discipline easy is because of my vision, my focus is on discovery and desire. Okay. When desire is out of the norm, when we've got just desire and we don't have discovery, we go to a place of deprivation, which is I want. It becomes greedy grabbing, or what the Bible calls lust. Okay. It's the same word for desire, for a desire for relationship, as a taking, greedy grabbing, lust place. The same word, desire, epithumio in the Greek, means both. It is where it's coming from and what it's because of that creates either a deprivation and an I want, or a discovery and desire, which is an I need. Let's see. I think that's it on that. Yeah. So here's the thing about discipline or duty. When discovery and desire are blocked, all we're left with is discipline, is duty. It's an I have to, because I've lost the momentum, the relationship aspects, and all I've got left is duty. And that is not supposed to create or maintain a relationship. It can't. Okay. And so when I have to, I naturally have a rebellious place in me. Okay. Duty and discipline becomes duty, and we exchange this intimacy and this relationship and this discovery and desire with the Lord for this place of doing. We become a human doing, not a human being. And I really believe this is the dilemma of the church today. And here's where I have been praying and thinking and wanting to make sure I get this right with you guys so that you understand this. When we begin our relationship, or we're now in our relationship with God out of a place of discipline, not out of a place of discovery and desire, which, by the way, that this gets blocked by our emotional dysfunction. When this happens, it will become a place of duty, and I have to, of depression and discouragement and defeat and deprivation. That's why emotional health is so important. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I came to know the Lord. I love my relationship with him. I long to be hanging out with him and desiring him and being with him. And then let's say my child dies. And I get mad at God about it. And now I'm angry at God because my child died. Without the emotional health to work through that, I will be left with this block between my anger at God and my relationship with him. And now it's not like I'm wanting to hang out with him, I'm mad at him, but I don't even know how to talk to him when I'm mad at him, because I don't have the relationship skills to do that. Or I think I'm afraid he's going to zap me because I don't understand God enough to know he's not going to zap me if I'm mad at him, or whatever. For whatever reason, I do not have the relationship skills and ability to get this back to a place of relationship with him. And now I'm just in discipline. And now, when I used to love reading the Bible, love talking to him, love praying with him, looked forward to my time with him, now I'm angry or I'm hurt, and it becomes duty. You can think about this with your husband or with your friend, or when you're bugged at them. When there's a block there, it's no longer fun at the moment. It's a pain, or they're a pain, or whatever. Think about, if you've been married for very long, at some point, one of you wants to have sex and the other one doesn't. Now, if this is here because, they're not talking to me unless they're having sex with me. Otherwise, he's just sitting on the TV staring at football all day, and I'm getting hurt, and I do not know how to communicate and deal with this. It's going to end up being, guess what I'm going to do for sex? It's going to be duty bound. It's not going to be out of discovery and desire bound, because there's a break here. So when I was talking about quiet time and the whole idea of quiet time and daily Bible reading, number one, God does not motivate. Our relationship is not motivated by shame and guilt. It isn't motivated there. That is not a motivation. That's an avoidant place to run from. I don't feel good sitting around with somebody who's judging me, or I'm feeling guilty and shamed about, and I can't resolve it. It's not the impetus for relationship. Number one. Number two, if I am just trying to read my 4 chapters a day in the Bible because I'm supposed to, then it's something I got to get it done in a year. I don't know why, but somebody says that's what good Christians do. Then what happens is it becomes duty. It's not about relationship. The other thing that's really interesting about the Word, the Bible, the Word of God, has 2 different explanations to it. One is logos. The logos word is the actual written, given to us Word of God. The actual God spoke word, okay? And that's called logos. And the Rhema word of God is this logos word speaks directly to me, hits me right between my breasts, that's where it hits me, when God is speaking directly to me. That's Rhema word. You guys understand what I'm talking about? The difference between the written word and reading your 4 chapters a day. And yes, I want to make sure and tell you that is massively important, because that's how you learn who God is. Reading the word and understanding and listening to the word and learning is your discovery process of who God is. It's kind of like me. If in discovering who I am and knowing me, if somebody came up to you and said, Carole says that dogs are filthy animals and they're gross and we should just kill all the dogs. You guys would know, I've had 4 dogs at a time for I don't know how long. I love dogs. There's no way I would say that, right? Because you know me. And the only way you're going to know who is God and the heart of God is knowing him by his word. Okay? And so then when something comes against you, you know that's not God, because that's not who God is. And God never, ever contradicts himself, ever. It's not possible. He can't. So let's say that, the word says it's not okay to have sex outside of marriage. And I know that. It says that. It's in there. It's very clear. That's not okay. God says that's not okay. And now somebody comes to me, a Christian comes to me and says, God told me it's okay for me to have this affair. You're going to know, because you study and understand the word, you're going to know that's not God. God would never say that. Okay, you're going to understand that. Okay, so I'm telling you, it is massively important to know and understand and read the word. I'm not saying don't in your daily Bible reading plan. I'm saying don't do it by some man's way of doing it. Because, by the way, if you got to do 4 chapters a day and it becomes duty, then whatever. It's not even helping. Okay, if it means that you read 2 verses and it hits you and you chew on that and meditate on it, and eat it up and it becomes part of you, that's awesome. You know, before they had, you know, I've harped on this too much, but before they had the written word, what'd they do? Okay, they memorized and they talked about it to each other, and they talked a lot about it. Okay, or somebody who's illiterate, what do? They're just tough out of luck. There's not going to be pleasing God. No. So I'm just saying, I want you to take a look at how you come to God. And I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute, but I want you to I just want us to take a look at what we've been doing in what we think we're supposed to be doing for relationship with God. You know, if you said, we sat down at lunch or breakfast and I went, you're like, Carole, what are you doing? Well, I got to get my 20,000 breaths in. What do you mean? Well, you breathe 20,000 times a day, and I got 30 minutes to get those in. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? See, but we treat our relationship with God that way. Like, I got to get it in this 30 minutes, and then check him off the list. I've done that for the day. And I want to teach us differently. That's what I want to do. Okay. So